Hey guys, my name is John. Today we're talking about some influential weapons in history, but to talk about weapons in history, I like to talk about or discuss with you guys the origin of weapons itself. Discussions from coworkers and friends and colleagues, we talked about where they came from, why do we have them. We all decided as a whole weapons weren't designed to kill each other, but for hunting. So let's take a little visualization. Now you were a caveman, cave wife, bunch of little cave kids running around about 4:30, 5 o'clock at night. What do you guys talk about? What do you want to eat? So, well, what do you want to eat? No, I want, you pick. So like, okay, well, no, you pick. Like, well, I want a mastodon steak. Now, if you guys didn't know, mastodon is a big elephant covered in fur, wool, with tusks and a very, very bad temper. So here you are, Mr. Caveman, walking out of your cave with a rock. What are you going to do? Unless you got a good arm, you're not going to kill a mastodon with that bad boy. So you go back into your cave, and two things happen. One, you develop a weapon. The other one is not let your wife pick what to eat. So now you're in the cave looking around like, how do I get my beautiful cave wife a mastodon steak? So what you do is you take what you have around you. You take slate from the cave wall and you turn it into a knife. Well, I accidentally cut myself with this knife. This might work. So now you go out and you tackle this 6-ton beast and you're like, yeah, steaks, fur, I can actually do this now. But the problem is the Peterson caveman family down the way is like, this dude got steak. So now they're gonna come down the way and they're like, give me your stuff. So what do? This bad boy just worked on a 6-ton animal. It's gonna work on this 150-pound guy. So what do? You kill the guy. Now what do you got? You have a weapon. So that's how it developed. Now, such a broad topic, I decided to break it up by relevant steps or inventions. And the first thing I decided to do was gunpowder. Gunpowder was introduced by the Chinese in right around 400 AD, and they strictly used it for fireworks. Yes, fireworks. They didn't use it out of guns. There was some evidence of guns or resemblance of guns, but it was a steel tube attached to a stick. And the conversation is they use that for fireworks. They launch fireworks out of it because they had the same fireworks they do now. They were huge blow-up things in the flower in the sky and stuff like that. Well, now we got the Silk Road established. And English being who they are, they go see they have this magical black powder with explosive properties, right? So what do the English do? They bring it back. They're like, I can kill somebody with this. But mainly the French hated each other. So what they did, they developed these weapons. They're called they're lock weapons, locking mechanism weapons. The wheel lock, matchlock, and flintlock. Now, wheel lock and matchlock were pretty antiquated. It was kind of earliest, but the flintlock was the big step in this evolution because it was easy to load. You could load it. You can carry it loaded. Now all you do is add powder, pull the trigger. Now these are the kind of weapons the colonialists brought to Plymouth Rock. They landed. Native Americans were like, whoa, hey guys. Now English being who we are and the humans being who we are, we're like, I'm starving. I need corn. Now we're engaging with the Indians in battle. So we shoot the Indians. Indians are like, oh, what is this? The other thing we talk about is cannon. And the reason why I brought cannon up is I don't have to describe a cannon to you guys. It's a big metal tube, shoots huge projectiles, even buckshot. And the reason why I want to bring cannon up is something called a force multiplier. And for the rest of this, you need to keep force multiplier in mind. I'm going to describe that to you real quick. Is a force multiplier. Early warfare was always line up. We're going to shoot guns at each other. It's almost a gentleman's game. It was ran by aristocrats controlling armies, hundreds of thousands of people shooting guns straight at each other. Made no sense. So now they're developing these cannons as a force multiplier. Now a cannon took the place, let's say, of 10,000 of your troops. So what does that mean is now you don't have to feed 10,000 people, you don't have to move 10,000 people logistically. It was much easier. Plus it also related to how many bad guys or the enemy you could kill with that cannon. So if you kill 10,000 people, I now have to replace 10,000 people on the line. So keep this in mind when I talk about the rest of these guns, okay? Now that was gunpowder. So the next logical step was, okay, it's taking me forever. It takes me 6 shots in a minute. 6 shots by a well-trained rifleman. Now we got the development of a cartridge, which is a self-contained powder with a projectile primer. Loading. Now you're talking 15, 20 rounds per minute, maybe, say someone who's trained. The ones I picked for this now is the Gatling gun and the Maxim gun. I mean, obviously there's a whole lot of other guns in there, like this is a broad topic, but these are the most significant because of the automatic and the rate of fire. Now Now, the Gatling gun was the great grandfather of modern machine gun, utilizing that cartridge in a magazine. You know what I'm talking about? Like cranking this bad boy now. The John Chambers wrote the book Battle of San Juan Hill, Oxford Companion to American military history. He said this was the most significant weapon of the Spanish-American War. The Battle of San Juan Hill specifically. As they assaulted San Juan Hill, we had these machine guns. Now, the Spanish had never seen anything like this. Maybe they had an idea like, okay, they have these guns, but who cares, right? We're going to defeat them. So we had these things in covered wagons and mounted units, and we decimated these people with this one gun. Now, the next step was the Maxim gun. This was the first recoil-operated belt-fed machine gun. It was developed in 1886 and used through every conflict until 1918, which was World War I, which was replaced by the Lewis, which is the same, essentially the same gun, just a better cooling system. And speaking of cooling system, this was significant because this is introducing the cooling system to a machine gun. Because as you shoot a high rate of fire through a barrel, it causes friction, causes heat. Essentially, they were shooting these bullets. It would cause a seize in the engine or seize in the barrel, and it'd blow up. So what they do, they carry a can around full of oil, and it would cool. Will hopefully cool the system. So now we got a high rate of fire, external cooled system, and now we have ammo technology, all that kind of stuff, and we're going to move on to World War II, and this is where the whole game changes. Everything changes. Now, I picked two specific. One was the Garand. I mean, I'm an American, of course, I got the Garand, right? This was almost a saving grace for World War II. It had a relatively large ammo capacity of 8 rounds in a magazine, but it was a very accurate, very, very powerful 30-06 Springfield round. And it allowed us to accurately fire rounds on target at distance. The Germans hated this firearm just for that reason, because we were picking them off. And World War II infantry was an expert marksman, so keep that in mind as we're using this. And it was so effective that we used it almost through Vietnam. There was troops in Vietnam, infantry troops, opting out of the new AM-16AR, armor light rifle, not automatic rifle, and they'd carry the Garand just for that reason. Now, on the other side of the coin was, according to the automatic weapons, the American versus German U.S. War Department, bulletin number 181 was the MG42. Ever watch a World War II flick? MG42. That was the machine gun that they used on our infantry. What was so special with this was 900 rounds per minute. Not only was that, it was the first recorded not crew-served machine gun. So that was me, as many bullets as I could carry, this machine gun destroying whole regiments of troops. And it was because of the high rate of fire, portability. They could put this machine gun in a single location, suppress a group of infantry, and then target artillery and rifleman fire. So it was very, very effective. Scary effective. It was one of the most effective, most recognizable gun in World War II. Every movie you see is going to have an MG42 and has very distinct features. The last gun I picked, before you all go, move back to Russia, Communist John, all this kind of stuff. I mean, hear me out. I mean, there was two I was balancing. One was the M16. I mean, obviously, it's the most recognizable, one of the most recognizable guns in the United States, and the most popular, but I went with the AK-47, right? According to Philip Kilco, Economics, the gold market for assault rifles, 500 million guns have been produced, and 1/5 of those have been an AK variant. The variant, it would be the same operating systems, kind of the same structure, it'd be the same, just different calibers, different lengths, different accoutrements, if you will. It was produced in 1948 by Kalashnikov, and it was rumored he stole it from the Germans after they won World War II. They took their engineers, but that's a different conversation. And then utilized in every conflict since the introduction of the rifle. So everywhere you go, the enemy you're going to encounter will have an AK-47. You couldn't swing a dead cat by its tail in the desert and not see someone with an AK-47. Go for herders, guys had AK-47. So it was so effective because of the round magazine capacity. And 7.62 by 39 is a Series 30 caliber round. Nice short cartridge, accurate, reliable, easy to produce, stamped out of wood, stamped out of pot metal and wood. Essentially, it was that Chinese stick with a metal attachment to it. That's all it is. So now I went over some some of the weapons, and each one of these weapons were cutting edge technology for that time, okay? And each one of these weapons changed how we fought and changed how we conduct warfare for that reason. It was just, anyone who innovated these weapons, anyone who developed these weapons, they had the upper hand for a decade or so until someone came and stole it. So I think each one of the weapons I picked, and this is just my opinion, I mean, you guys can have your own opinion, I'm sure you'll talk about it later, but each one of these places of mine is an evolution of weapons and shaping the history of the battles. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.